last weekend and continuing to this morning, our Federation experienced heavy torrential downpours and inclement weather patterns, particularly in the northeastern corridor of St. Kitts. The NEMA Damage Assessment Team is investigating the impact of this weather system, and I commend the swift efforts of our disaster response officials, led by Mr. Abdia Samuel, National Disaster Coordinator at NEMA, and all other government officials, including those at the Met Office, SCELEC, and Public Works, who braved the inclements of the weather to mitigate damage, injury, and of course prevent the loss of life. The resurfacing work on the Island Main Road was impacted in several areas, and the consequential runoff affected some private properties. We should continue, of course, to exercise caution. The hurricane season is not yet ended, and even when officially ended, given the increased climatic variability, we must remain alert. I want to turn to more positive news. And in this regard, I am pleased to report that our Team Unity government continues to move St. Kitts and Nevis in the right direction. Our fiscal house is solid, and we will make it more resilient. The Financial Secretary has reported that for the ninth month in a row, we have accumulated a surplus for 2019. Using international economic classification, we recorded a surplus on the recurrent account, and overall surplus and a primary balance surplus. At the end of September 2019, the federal government's net fiscal position was significantly better than the budget forecast and the performance of the corresponding period of 2018. This, of course, is a far cry from where we were in 2011, when our country was bankrupt and the former government borrowed some $234 million from the IMF to meet its regular operations, including the payment of salaries and pensions and to purchase supplies for our JNF hospital. The advent of the IMF and the fiscal morass of the bygone administration led to an 85% increase in the cost of electricity, a 600% increase in water bills, the suspension of increment to civil servants for 3 years in a row, and of course the forced layoff of public servants. What Team Unity then has accomplished by prudent fiscal management of the economy in less than 5 years is an outstanding achievement, and some go as far to say we have performed an economic miracle. We should never take this for granted, however. We cannot go back to the old shameful mismanagement of the past. Our economy is strong, and the IMF debt of $117 million left behind by the past administration has been paid off by our Team Unity government. More people are in jobs than ever before. Labor's value-added tax on food, and medicines and funeral and educational expenses has been removed. Just as we promised to bring tax relief, we have delivered on this one. Over 3,000 persons have received various forms of housing support. Homes have been built, and I am advised that some are ready for occupancy in St. Peter's, Crab Hill, Sandy Point, Pine Gardle, Christchurch, Phillips Village, and Bellevue. I suspect we will get more on these from the National Housing Corporation and the Honorable Jean Hamilton, who is spearheading the revolution in housing. Our communities are made nicer and more beautiful by the improved infrastructure everywhere, the build-out of roads and sidewalks for the safety of our children, the elderly, our differently abled, and indeed all pedestrians, has brought a new and improved look in our communities. It was heartening to note the pleasant enhancement of Sadler's Village as I walked the full length of this part of our Island Main Road on Saturday during my usual health walk. It dawned on me that the good times are indeed here again. The new ethos of fairness and equity is being practiced for all to see. Every area is being taken care of by the community administration. Last Saturday, I promised several residents of St. Paul's that we will do something to help them, and then the careless neglect they revealed to me during a tour there by the representative of 30 years standing. Communities for which over 30 years suffered for want of paved roads can look forward positively to a major difference in the not-too-distant future. The roads at Camps and McTinley and Garvey's Westland Housing Development, for example, are out to tender. Construction, of course, will commence shortly after the tendering processes are satisfactorily completed. My government will be spending millions on roads because the people of McTinley, Harvey's Estate and Camps, like our people everywhere, Keon and Sandy Point, for example, deserve better and should not be left behind. A strong economy needs a strong and resilient financial sector. Our commercial banks and other financial institutions are the key drivers of this sector. In this regard, I am pleased to report to you that the government has taken its cue from the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank and positively responded to the request for a vesting order to be issued to the Republic Financial Holdings Limited by the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. By statutory rules and orders number 30 of 2019, the Bank of Nova Scotia Banking Business Vesting Order, the government granted approval for the transfer and vesting of the relevant assets of the Scotiabank branch business to Republic Financial Holdings Limited, effective 31st October 2019. The Republic Bank, I'm advised, is not a new institution to the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, as it has successfully operated in Grenada and to some extent in St. Lucia for a number of years. We are encouraged by the positive news that the Republic Bank has agreed to maintain employment of the existing Scotiabank staff deployed here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I am particularly pleased that the new country manager is our own Mrs. Pamela Herbert Daniel, and we bid her a fond welcome back to St. Kitts and to the bank. It is our hope that the Republic Bank would bring valuable expertise to help boost the development of small and medium-sized enterprises in the Federation and broaden our access to the international network of correspondent banks. As Scotiabank exits after some 36 years of doing business here in the Federation, we warmly welcome Republic Bank with much hope and anticipation for a long and fruitful partnership in the years ahead. We should benefit from Republic Bank's strong support for commercial entities, its partnership with government, and its huge network of correspondent banks at a time when de-risking is a real challenge. In the same vein, I must congratulate the Board of Directors and Management of the St. Kitts, Nevis and Guyana National Bank on another commendable performance for the year ending 30th June 2019. Reported net income for the bank is the second highest in its history at just over $52 million, and its total assets are reported at a huge and significant $3.7 billion. National Bank is the largest indigenous bank in the currency union, and we could all be pleased of this fact. We look forward to the next annual general meeting, and we expect that the proposed dividend payout will allow shareholders the opportunity to benefit from the success of the bank to date. Over the past 4 years, our Team Unity government has implemented a discounted VAT rate day initiative. In 2019, the discounted VAT rate day initiative will be implemented on 2 days. That is Saturday, the 14th December, and the Saturday, the 21st of December. For the record, these dates have been agreed with the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. No other government in the region has had the financial strength to do what we in St. Kitts and Nevis has done in 2015, in 2016, in 2017 and 2018, and we will do again in 2019, God's willing. That is to reduce the applicable VAT rate and pay a double salary 4 times in a row. And even when we would have done so, our country remains in surplus. Returning to the discounted VAT rate day and the significant relief it will bring to our citizens and residents in 2019, I can advise that our Cabinet has approved that businesses be allowed to charge VAT at a rate of 5% on the sale of goods instead of the usual 17% VAT. Of course, this will be on the designated VAT days. In the case of vehicles, no VAT would be charged on the first 50,000 of the cost of a vehicle. Therefore, if the vehicle costs 60,000, by way of example, you pay VAT on only 10,000. The first 50, the VAT is waived. Any amount exceeding this value of 50,000 would be subjected to the full VAT rate, that is 17%. This, in our view, is a major boost to spur vehicle ownership in the country and allow our people the convenience of a better quality of life. We caution those who are driving to drive carefully and within the designated speed limits. With our excellent roads, the temptation may be to speed, and we warn drivers and motorists to resist that temptation. Further good news, currently the package enjoyed by non-commercial importers and travelers are as follows. Gift packages of foodstuff are allowed for the first £66, free of duties and taxes, and travelers receive a duty-free allowance of $400 EC off the CIF value. Our caring Team Unity government has approved the following for implementation during the whole month of December, that is from the 1st to the 31st of December 2019. The gift packages for which now you have been allowed £66 free of duties and taxes, we have increased that almost sevenfold to £400 free of duties and taxes. The travellers who would have received a duty-free allowance of $440 of the CIF value will, during December, receive a duty-free allowance of $540 off the CIF value. We have been able to offer these concessions and tax waivers because the economy is fundamentally strong. Tourism is doing well, and I want to commend our 2 ministers of tourism at the federal arm, the Honorable Lindsey Grant, who is here, and at the level of the NIA, the Honorable Mark Brantley, our foreign minister, and Honorable Premier of Nevis. There is a good mix of public and private sector projects going on at this time. We have, for example, the Hillsborough Hotel and Suites the Seaview Hotel, Ramada Hotel, Era Development, and all these will help to keep our economy growing. Our revenues are growing, and our expenditures are carefully undertaken and contained where necessary. But the main objective is to ensure that the government helps people, in particular the poor, the elderly, and the young people. We expect construction to continue at the Cove Condominium Development in Frigate Bay, Hillsborough Hotel and Suites in Matinley, Seaview Hotel in West Barstow, the Ramada Hotel at Hilden's Estate, Era Development at Brighton, and Cockershell Villas at the Southeast Peninsula should commence construction in the near future. 4,000 persons are receiving their poverty alleviation support. This well-needed stipend would help them to do many things for themselves. It has come in handy, some claim, to help them with their rent, to buy food, to take care of their medicines, or even to pay utility bills. Certainly, especially for our elderly, it has given them a sense of independence from their children and from other persons whose grace they have had to depend. Team Unity knows that we cannot have a strong future, especially for our young people, if we do not have a strong economy. By the end of the first quarter of 2020, 4 new hotels, Ramada Hotel, Phase 1, Koi Hotel, Tillough at Windham, and the Seaview Hotel Phase 1 should be opened, creating hundreds of real jobs and more opportunities, especially for our young people who are so-minded. Speaking of jobs and the future, our police force and defense force are interviewing persons for recruitment, and we invite all young men and women with interest in an attractive and diversified career in security services to visit the offices of the police headquarters, and of course the Defense Force headquarters at Camp Springfield. Close to 100 jobs are available across the security sector, in policing, at the Defense Force, the Immigration Department, our correctional facility, and indeed fire and rescue services. Contrary to the unpatriotic purveyors of fake news, I am pleased to report that the Electrify factory is not contemplating any layoffs. Cajola has increased its labor force, which Oserosa reported today, now stands at around 204 employees, compared to 112 the same time last year. That is a whopping 82% increase. And Jaro, for the record, has absorbed most of the workers made redundant at Luton and who are interested in continuing work. I want to thank the Senior Minister, the Honourable Van Saemri, for the leadership he provided and his team in reaching out to the Luton and engaging with Jaro to make this ease of movement from one factory to another so much possible. Without a strong economy, of course, we cannot create the jobs we need, and we cannot build the housing people need, and we will not have the resources to keep our streets safe. Speaking on the matter of public safety and security, I'm sure the entire country records its congratulations to our security forces, and I want to commend Commissioner Hilroy Brandy in particular. But of course, this is a teamwork, so all the leadership and officers of the other security forces share in this congratulatory commendation, which I prefer. And of course, I must thank too those vulnerable groups for the unprecedented peace in our country and the non-occurrence of gang-related homicides since March of 2019. Our federation is on track to record the lowest number of homicides since way back in 2006, and the lowest number of major crimes in a long time. This is worthy of commendation. We cannot, of course, put a price on the lives of our young people lost to gang violence over the last 20 plus years. What we do know is that bloodshed and the carnage had to stop. Nothing worked before Team Unity. The Peace Initiative is working, and the social intervention programs that we have introduced in the Ministry of National Security have all conduced to a better St. Kitts and Nevis. We must not stop these programs. We will have to guard the peace. And only Team Unity is committed to this peace. And all the families, the business community, the churches, and the society at large who are benefiting from this peace must, of course, join forces with the government to preserve it. We must keep our communities safe, and the new sense of security and calm is palpable and pervasive. Even Calypso legend King Socrates has come out of retirement to commend the police initiative in his new song. The rat-a-tat-tat no longer is there. I am reminded of the beatitude, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for theirs is the kingdom of God." I want now to make a statement in relation to Haiti, and to say there is no doubt that what is happening in Haiti is tragic. Haiti is the largest CARICOM member state with an estimated population of about 11.2 million people. It has a spectacular past as the first slave society in our region to have secured its freedom. Our region will never achieve its greatness and full potential until every member state, including its largest, in this case Haiti, is moving in the right direction. Last week, your Team Unity government reunited 49 migrants, Haitian migrants, with their families and with their homeland. In doing so, we surpass international standards of care and support given to migrants. The decision to repatriate the migrants were made after extensive discussions with the government of Haiti. We did not just send them back so. We were in discussion for nigh a week with the government officials in Haiti. We were in discussions with the United Nations International Organization for Migration. And I want to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for their intervention with the IOM. We were in discussion with the CARICOM Secretary General. We were in discussion with the local arm of the Red Cross, and indeed even with the local Haitian Association. I want to commend our doctors, translators, and security forces who accompanied the migrants back to their country and thereby ensured no harm befell any of them. Here was the smallest country in our hemisphere, setting the example of how we treat migrants in a manner surpassing international expectations, and at the same time preserving their dignity and humanity. This is not the first time that we have led the region and the rest of the world. Let me digress a bit on this point, because we are the first independent country in the OECS to have outperformed the international benchmark of debt to GDP ratio of 60%. We are the best in the OECS and the Rule of Law Index for 2019. We are the only country to have been recognized at the Global International Telecommunications Union Conference held in Botswana for dynamism in ICT. Clearly, St. Kitts and Nevis on the Team Unity is emerging as the example of the best managed small island state. Your Team Unity government has a duty to protect our borders and to keep you, our people, safe and secure. And we will always work to uphold that duty. In conclusion, the country is heading in the right direction, and Team Unity pledge to keep working to create more jobs, provide better housing, keep our streets safe. We will not discriminate because we are one people, one country, moving forward in unity. We are heading in the right direction from all indices, and we have done so by design, not by accident, not by luck, not by magic, but certainly too with the grace and blessing of God. The gains we have made, however, are delicate. They cannot be taken for granted. For sure, only Team Unity can be trusted to consolidate these gains. These gains could be easily be lost, and our country would head backwards to the constant warfare between the gangs, backwards into the bosom of the IMF and the years of no increment, backwards to an 85% increase in electricity, backwards to 600% increase in our water bill, backwards to when we were a pariah in the international community, backwards to the time of the FinCEN advisory, backwards to when we were punished as innocent citizens and residents for the atrocities of a failed and miserable administration. It is with the future in mind that we ask the country to ensure that the Team Unity government continues to serve and in the near future to increase its mandate.